bash demo. So here is what, so many of you, if you're familiar with Linux at all, you might recognize as probably the results of the command saying sudo apt-get update, right? Do an update and find any changes or any updates to the code that I have already installed in this environment. And you'll also see not only did I run that, but also where did it actually go for those updates? You went to archive.ubuntu.com. So it's no different. These are the same binaries that you run in Linux today are now running in this now subsystem for Linux that you can enable. It's in beta, as I mentioned. To enable it, you enable it as a feature, and it does also require developer mode to be enabled on your Windows system. It is a developer functionality, so we want you developers are going to be using this. But I can look at the version that's running here, and you can see that it's running trusty. So it's 14.04 Ubuntu. So Canonical and Microsoft have partnered greatly to make this happen. It is a support of the native binaries. Again, no virtual machines, no magic tricks here or anything like that. I can run, I've actually installed a number of tools and some simple, silly utilities such as Fortune. Really useful. You'll be sorry. Okay, that's a really interesting Fortune. How about Cowsay? Actually, you have to give them some text, I think. Maybe I'm doing that wrong. There we go. Or you can pipe the Fortune to the Cowsay and have the Fortune be told to you by the cow what's yellow and equivalent to the axiom of a choice. That's the one it's not, okay. I can install really important utilities like the old famous game Rogue. So if I do some dungeon exploring, I can do here. So just kind of silly examples of this. I've also installed let me talk about the file system for a second. So basically, we have to have another file system in here in order to support this. Windows doesn't care about case as far as file names and directories, right? And also which, the directions of the slash matter and so on. Linux is very particular about case, right? So it's going to have a different file system. And in fact, we do have this different file system. Now this local folder that I have, if I do CD, I'm basically just in my own folder. I've got some folders here from some additional demos. I can go there, and it's actually hidden under my profile. So you can actually get to that folder. It's very well hidden. I don't recommend to use Windows Explorer to do any major changes to files or anything like that because you'll corrupt the entire Linux system. It's kind of fragile. But I can get from the Linux system into the Windows system, but because we just treat the C drive as a mount point. Notice I had to use a capital U to get to users, and then there's my profile folder. And so here's my profile folder under Windows, but I'm able to get there through Linux, through Bash. If I change directory to the root, I can see there's what you typically see in a Bash installation, a Bash shell. I also have installed a couple of graphics tools, a couple of graphical applications, so we can actually support that. I've actually downloaded some free graphics server. In fact, here's the X server. And so it's ready to go. All I need to do in this environment here is export the display. So let me do that quick if I haven't done that already. That will work. And now I can run things like Xeyes. So here's a little graphic application that shows some eyes following your mouse. Or, see, I actually ran that as a single. Let's do X clock. So there's a graphics clock. Some old Linux graphical utilities. How about Firefox? Oops. Now this Firefox is actually installed as a part of a full Windows or full Linux desktop, and I'm running it as a single windowed application. So this is actually Firefox running on Ubuntu. On my Windows machine. I can even go crazier than that, though. I happen to have an installation of Quake. So here's Quake running in graphics in a graphical window on Linux. I won't spend time trying to find monsters there. We'll quit this. Even to another extreme. I'm going to actually close this X server that I have running here, and I'm going to run it as a full screen server. And the reason I'm going to do that will become apparent in a second. So there's my full screen X server, no current graphic applications to it. But if I go back to my my window here, I think it's session. Oh, no, what was it? I always forget what the command is there. This is my little shortcuts for reminding myself XFCE4 session. I think I must have messed that up. Yeah, I forgot the F. Okay, so I actually have installed the Xubuntu desktop onto this environment. So here's, full Linux desktop running on top of Windows. Now again, think about developers that are used to using these tools, that are really more familiar with these tools, that want to build using the tools that they're familiar with, or the applications that they've been doing for a long time, and they don't have to have a separate Linux system in order to do that. They can actually do this now on their native Windows system. That's the whole goal of this. That's all my demos.